Hello everyone watching. Today I'm going to be talking about the Mojo system and a little bit about scripts and dialogues. So I'm going to be using the projector to show you exactly where to go and how to work the Mojo system. So for those of you that don't know, the Mojo system is a phone dialer system, and you're able to make up to 3 calls at a time. They have ability to either update or upload your own database, or you can actually buy leads from the Mojo system itself. So it's got great features that you can utilize in your day-to-day real estate prospecting needs. It's something that we use here at the office on a daily basis. So if I'm going to go ahead and show you how the Mojo system works, and you'll be looking at the projector most of the time because I'm going to be navigating through that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open up your Google Chrome browser, because that's what it's compatible with. It's not really compatible with Safari or Internet Explorer. You want to use your Google Chrome browser and open up the Mojo website, which is mojosells.com. That's mojosells.com. And I'm going to go ahead and go through it. I've already logged in, and I'm going to show you some of the key features that this system has. So one of the things you want to look at is the data and dialer system. In here, you'll be able to create what's called a calling list. And this will allow you to actually look up any expireds or for sale by owners that you buy through the lead store. The other thing is your own personal calling list, which is either leads that you purchase through the system that they have, or a database that you import yourself. And also another feature is you can actually put it in groups. So if you're working with a specific type of group, then you can categorize it and always follow up with that type of group. Okay? The power dialer and the marketing, those items we'll go over later on, but you will see them up here under the data and dialer. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the lead store in a little bit about how that works. If you navigate over to the lead store, you'll be able to see search, either neighborhood search, which means you can type in a zip code or an address and do a search around a certain radius. You can actually do what's called real-time for sale by owners, age for sale by owners, which is for sale by owners that are older, I believe a year or so, and also reverse lookup. So what that means is a property, let's just say you're driving by and you want to get the phone number to that to the homeowner on that address. You actually type in the address and it'll look up the phone number it has. Also the availability of expired data. So those are all the categories that you're actually able to get leads from. Now all this is at a cost. I believe for sale by owners are about $25 a month, and so is the expired data. Right now we're going to go over the neighborhood search and how you would actually search for properties around a certain area. And this is great for your farm area, or just listed, just sold properties, if you want to call around the neighborhood, or you're going to be doing an open house. It's also great for that because you can call around the neighborhood and invite people over to the open house. It's got a lot of information there that you can utilize. So I'm going to go ahead and click on there to show you. So if you click on search, you have 2 options. You have either the map free plotting or the search by street name. We're going to do the map plotting today. And so all you got to do is select that. Type in a zip code, which I'm going to use Bellflower. We're in Bellflower right now. And it's going to pull up a map. Now this shaded area, these are areas that we've already pulled up. That doesn't mean you can't pull up that information again. It just means that somebody's already at one point in time, already pulled up the phone numbers for that area. Okay? So what we can do is select a certain area just so you see how it works. Now if I want to pull up this area, I just select it, move it. and you navigate the hand over the area you're looking to retrieve, and we're going to select this square area here, and you double click a dot, and it'll leave a dot there. You move it over, double click, and it'll leave another dot there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, as you can see, it's shaded over the area that you're looking at. Once you do that, you select that area. Now you can preview your leads. Click on Show Leads at the top, and it says here there was 186 contacts, phone numbers found, and there's 133 on the federal do not call list. So those are the ones that you don't want to call on. Obviously, you don't want to get in trouble with anyone if you call them and they're on the list. So don't add those to your database. It'll also say here federal do not call, and it'll have an image or an icon there basically showing that you cannot call on those numbers. Okay, so let's move forward with this. Now once you've selected that, you can click on import. Now here's where you create your custom list. So you would actually click the plus sign there and create a name for that calling list. So it can be Bellflower, part 5 or something like that. Or if you're doing an open house, it can be the address of the open house, and it can state open house. If it's your farm area, you can put your farm area. So that way you can go back to it later on and you know which calling list that is. So click on calling list. Now we're just going to call this Bellflower Training. Save it, and it selects it already. You can always go back and edit it as well. You scroll down. Now it gives you an option. If there's already, it says there's 24 contacts already in there. So you can keep the old, keep the new, or keep old and new. Depends on what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. I like to keep the old information just for the purpose of keeping the notes and anything else on that potential buyer or seller, but it's up to you. Click on Finish Import, and then it's going to finish importing there. We'll make sure it's loading. Okay. And here it's going to give you a little bit breakdown. Records fetched 186, duplicates 21, and there's 2 multiple addresses, and then a total of 35 contacts were imported after the other 133, I believe, were scrubbed. So that'll give you a little breakdown there. So it's only 35, but we really didn't want to, I'm not using this to pull up 1,000 contacts at the moment. I'm just using it as an example. Obviously, we got to go a little bit broader so we can get more contact phone numbers into the system. Now, if we click on View Imported Data, that's going to take us straight to the calling list, which says Bellflower Training. Here's your phone numbers. And it'll show you here the name, the address, and all the information here, and phone number, and the attempts that you have made. So potentially, at a certain point, you're going to be making, a couple attempts to get a hold of this person. So it'll show there 2 or 3 or 4 attempts. That way you have an idea how many times you've called that person. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, after you're done importing, then you want to go over and go to the power dialer and start getting ready to make your phone calls. For the sake of time, I got to compress this training, and I got to go straight to that. Usually I elaborate a little bit more in this area, but we're going to go straight to the power dialer. I'm going to show you a little bit of how that works. Okay, so we've already selected, it's already selected automatically under calling list. Click power dialer, and this is actually the settings for the power dialer. So in the beginning, you may want to just start with 1 phone call at a time so you can get used to the buttons and the system. Just keep in mind that the system itself, the server is going to be calling the numbers, but you're going to be communicating with the prospective buyer or seller on either your cell phone or the home phone or your office phone. So everything's going to be controlled here. It's not actually going to be controlled on your phone itself. You're not going to hang up the phone. You're not going to push the mute button or anything from there. You're not going to even dial from there. Everything's going to be done here. You're just going to be using your phone as a receiver. That's it. So all these settings are what we have to adjust according to what you're looking to accomplish. So we're going to start out with use call me mode. So use call me mode means that the system is going to call you at the number that you designate up there. So, for example, if I'm going to be making calls from the office, I can set the system up to call me here at the office, and all I have to do is simply push the phone number to the office up there. So let's just say that's the phone number to the office up there. The next option is the caller ID. So now, in settings, you're going to go in and set up your caller ID. Now, the caller ID is the number that's going to be displayed on the other person's phone when the system calls them. So although it's calling you at the office, that does not mean that that's the phone number that's going to show on the caller ID. So you're actually going to select a caller ID from this section, the phone number that you want to use. Now the next thing is the voicemail message you will drop. So the system will allow up to 3 calls at a time. And what happens is if one person picks up and you actually engage in a conversation, the other 2 lines are still ringing. So instead of just hanging up the other 2 lines, the system continues to call them. If somebody picks up the phone or a answering machine picks up, you're going to set up a pre-recorded voicemail greeting that you're going to be dropping on their voicemail box. So you have to select which one you want to use. So for example, if you're going to be doing an open house and somebody picks up the line or their answering machine picks up, you can leave a voicemail that says, hi, my name is so-and-so from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and I wanted to invite you out to my open house on this address, this date. I'll be having a raffle and balloons for the kids and probably some appetizers. So you can leave that type of message in case the voicemail picks up. It saves you a tremendous amount of time, especially when you're making 200, 300, 400, 500 calls a day. So that's a great feature that it has. You want to make sure to set that up on your settings. The other callback message you have is if somebody actually picks up the line while you're on the phone, you can actually leave a message that says, hi, I'm sorry, I'm on the other line right now, but I have some important information regarding an open house not too far from yours. I will be calling you back in the next 60 seconds or the next minute. My name is so-and-so and my phone number is such and such in case you have any questions between now and then. And that's a message that you can leave if they actually pick up the phone while you're already in a conversation. So that would be the 3rd line. So the first line, you're actually in a conversation with somebody. The second line, the voicemail greeting picked up. And the 3rd line, somebody actually picked up the line. So it leaves a message. So there's three different opportunities here, and there's 2 different greetings that you will be leaving. So I hope that's clear as day. I know it gets a little confusing, but when you actually when you start making the phone calls, you'll get a little bit better at this, okay? So now, the next option you have here is a number of lines that you'll be dialing. So as I mentioned earlier, you can dial up to 3 lines. Now, there's an opportunity, you have the option of actually selecting 1 call, 1 line at a time. So what that means is in the beginning, I remember when I started doing Mojo, I did 1 line, I probably did it 1 day because it wasn't going as fast as I wanted it to go. So you can start getting comfortable with it. You want to do probably just 1 line so you can get familiar with all the buttons and all the options that it has. So you do have all those, so don't get too anxious and think, oh, I gotta make 3 calls at a time. Just relax, just do 1 at a time for now. Once you get better, you master it, you can start upping it to 2 or 3 lines. Now the great thing, another great thing about this system, the Mojo system, is that it actually has scripts already built into it. And there's expired scripts, farm calling scripts, for sale by owner scripts. So these are scripts that are already put on there, and when you're making the phone calls, it actually is going to allow you to select which script you want to use. If those scripts that are on there, you don't like them, well, you can always import your own scripts. And what happens is when you make the phone call, the script actually pops up, and you can make your call according to that script. So that's a great feature that it has as well. These are all things that you can change in the settings, and you can, obviously make it customize it the way you'd like it to be. Okay? So once you get all this set up, then you go to the Start Dialing button there. Okay? And once you click the Start Dialing button, it's going to populate all the information, the calls that you're going to make, and then you just click Start Dialing. Okay. Now we're not going to go through the actual dialing here. That's something I usually do in my live classes. But once you get to that point, then you got to start looking at the buttons and the options that it gives you. And they actually also have tutorial videos. Okay. So these tutorial videos will help you out a little bit more on what it is that you need to, how you can manipulate or customize the system to fit your needs and what you're going to be doing. So if you go up to the top right, I'm going to cancel this out. I'm going to exit out of here, and you have this opportunity here to click on Help Video on the top right. So on that section there, that's where if you need a little bit more assistance, that's usually where I go if I have any questions or need help on any of this stuff. Now, the great thing about this as well is that you actually can create a report, so you can see who you called, you can see how many calls you made, how many contacts you made. If you click on the top icon here where it says Reports, okay. And you can break it down by day, you can go back. Sometimes I get some of my agents that say, oh, Cesar, you know what, I made a call, earlier, and I don't remember the person's number. I didn't print it out, I didn't save it. How do I go back? So you can actually go back to your reports and take a look at that, and you have a series of options here. So feel free to go back to your reports and take a look at that. That's a great way to monitor your business. The other thing is activities, the other option you have. And the great thing about this is that you will be able to see who your follow-ups are for the week, if you have any appointments set for the week, any calls, any tasks assigned. This is where it would all be. So you can go here and you can start looking those up if you use the Mojo system. We share the system here, so I don't keep any of those tasks here. However, if you're using it for yourself, this would be a great place to keep everything. And that way when you get in the morning and you start making your calls, you can see first who you got to follow up with, and then after that start making all your cold calls. Okay? So that's part of the activities report there. Okay? So the other option is if you look at specifically a client, you'll be able to see some specific information on the client. So I'm going to just select somebody randomly. And here it's going to show you some of the information here. So as an example, this one's a Mojo, it's an expired. There's some notes there that were populated over from the expired listings. And you can actually go here and look at the street view of the home. You can actually look at your lead sheet, the history, email, action plan, family attachments, etc. So it gives you a lot of features on here that allow you to, either retrieve a conversation, or if they're speaking specifically about the property, You can always go to the street view, it uses Google, and then it actually has Zillow on there as well to give you an idea. You can see it's powered by Google and Zillow. Gives you an idea of the value of the home. So those are all great features to have when you're having a conversation with somebody. And there you go. So it gives you an idea what their home looks like, or the area, the neighborhood. You can actually navigate through here and look around the neighborhood. So that's a great feature to have as well when you're having a conversation with somebody about their home. The other thing is it gives you Zillow, for example. So if they say, well, what do you think my property is worth? Well, at least you'll have an idea by pulling up Zillow. You'll have an idea of what the house looks like, what the property description is. This is off Kaufman Avenue in Southgate, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 800 square feet. It gives you a Zillow estimate there of $389. So you have an idea, you have some kind of knowledge of the area or the price of the home. The last thing you want to do is sound ignorant to the prospective seller, and he tells you, well, you don't even know my neighborhood. Well, if you have this handy, you have an idea of what you're talking about. All right, so that's that pretty much, in a nutshell, that's pretty much the Mojo system. Now, you know, in the class I elaborate a little bit more, so I get a little bit more specific on some of these details. Some of the thing, a lot of the things here, though, they have training videos for, so you can always go back to the training videos and take a look at them. And I wanted to touch bases on one more thing. They have scripts and dialogues here. But also another resource that I use is the Mike Ferry scripts and dialogues, and you're more than welcome to get them for free. So I'm going to show you where to get them for free, scripts and dialogues. So if you go to MikeFerry.com, he actually gives you scripts and dialogues for free. All you have to do is go to his products icon here section and go to complimentary downloads. Make sure I got that right, and scroll down, and he has a bunch of different sections here and files that you could download for free. Okay, this is where I do a lot of my practicing scripts and dialogues. I get them here for free. They don't charge you a penny. Obviously, he wants you to be part of his coaching and wants you to go to seminars, which I've attended a ton of them. But he has a lot of scripts and dialogues, and some of my favorites here, and I'll tell you which one's my favorite. If you scroll down to scripts, they have buyer script, but he also has expired, he has just listed, just sold. Those are great. He has up here 10 commitments, 11 reasons to list during the holidays. That's an objection that you're going to be getting a lot in the holidays, obviously. Okay, so if you scroll down, you'll see all the other objection handlers and scripts that he has. Pick out your favorites and study them. Role play it with somebody. Pick a role play partner. Practice with them on a daily basis. That's my recommendation. After you download the scripts, print them out and try to practice with another agent. I would say 2 to 3 times a day. Practice your scripts, your dialogues, objection handlers, etc., etc. Make about at least 200 to 300 calls a day. Try to use the Mojo system for that. It's going to be a lot faster. That's probably only an hour and a half to 2 hours of actual calling time. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my presentation. The time's up, and I wish you the best of luck.